Here we are. This is my second reading. If the lighting's weird, I'm doing it at night with lots of lights on, so it probably looks washed out and weird. I'm old enough not to be worried about vanity, so if I look too peculiar, I'm sorry, you just have to wear that. You don't get wisdom when you're 16. So, I've been wanting to do the stock market for a while, and it seems to be such, they have, what do they call it, bulls and bears or something. It seems to have been a bull market for such a long time, and we all thought, obviously, they were waiting for the corporate tax cuts. They've happened. Some of the more serious commentators globally have predicted there's going to be trouble down the track. It's a simple thing about cycles, you know, boom and bust. So the young Turks or the young rogue traders or whatever, there's always a new generation. There's always enough cocaine to go around, whatever their new drug of choice is. More deals to be made. So the bubble. And, of course, as we speak, the government shutdown has just occurred. Remember, Donald tweeted, it was in May last year, what we need is a good shutdown. The man has no idea how governments work or what would be entailed in that. Mind you, I don't think it's going to be too much of a panic in the sense that if it doesn't go more than a couple of weeks, you know, if it goes a week or 2 weeks or something like 2013, things can be got back to normal, and presumably the Republicans will pull their finger out. Have they got no idea? How can they, with 3 arms of government, walk into a shutdown? I don't know. I don't know how that happens, actually. Anyway, I digress, as I do often, as you know. The stock market. Now, tarot being what it is, I won't be able to give you a date and a time, but I just want to get a sense of what's happening with the stock market. And although Trump has made premature claims about the health of the economy that were left over Obama things, it's also fair enough to say it's the highest it's been and it's staying high, and what's going to happen from here. So I'm going to do a past, present, future reading on the US stock exchange, because as we know, what happens in the US affects the world. All right, so here we go. The stock exchange. What's happening with the stock exchange? And yeah, it's how the economy is talked about. It's made out that the stock market's really important. Most people don't own stocks. Most people aren't affected by the vagaries of the stock exchange. It's part of this trickle-down economics that's going. You need people to be really rich, because otherwise you'll lose your job. So it's this fear-mongering. So if you're at the bottom of the ladder or in the middle of the ladder, you sort of hope that the stock exchange stays strong. And it does affect things. So let's see what's happening with the stock exchange. All right. Here you go, down to the cards. All right. Well, I have to say, just glancing at them, big things are afoot, and I'm not saying put your money in the pillowcase or in the mattress, but be very, very, very careful. So hold on to your money is the overriding message of this reading. So if you're tempted to splash out now on stocks, you've missed the bull run by and large. That's not to say you could buy a few shares and make money in 2 weeks, but we're talking slightly longer than that. You've missed the wave. Hold on to your money is the best advice. So spend wisely, but holding on. Literally holding on. If you look at that card, the arms around the money. In the recent past, the Chariot, gallop, 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 it's been galloping along, very successfully, right? But when you look carefully at this card, there's a disconnect between the Chariot and these Sphinx figures. In other words, there's no reins to the Chariot. You look at it at first and you think, oh, this person has horses or something. No. There's actually no control of the Chariot in the card. So it's been galloping along. The Eight of Wands, which we get a lot in a lot of contexts. So swiftness, flight. There's been huge momentum in the context of a reading on the stock exchange. I see this as momentum. More and more risks being taken, risks that have been fun for those who like that sort of risk. But there's a lot of wands or staffs in play. Okay. Haste. And interpersonal relationships. Things have gone well in terms of people's experience. We're talking about the stock market, so this is people's experience with the stock market. But with the Trumpian lion, the winged lion, over the lot. So he has, to a certain extent, powered this optimism of the Chariot, but he's also fueled the anxiety and the haste of the wands. So if you read now in the serious financial papers, the Financial Review and so forth internationally, those older investors, the very wealthy investors, are also holding on to their money now. They are not investing in a big way, and they're not taking big risks now. I see this card as stock market risks. They've seen it go round a few times. They remember when it all crashes. They can remember the 80s, they can remember the 90s, and they can remember 2008. So they're holding on, but the young ones won't. Okay, current. This is the current column. Things still looking really strong. The Dow's around 25,000 or something. Huge, absolutely huge. Huge and unsustainable. Okay, so it's looking strong. However, looking at it closely, re-evaluating values themselves. So while the young ones will always try and do a bit more, it's like the Bitcoin scenario. Bitcoin is like a giant pyramid scheme or a Ponzi scheme. If you get in on the ground floor, you make shitloads, but someone ends up losing everything. So just as Bitcoin's dropping, this is re-evaluating the temptation. Not happy, people are essentially attracted to the stock market who want to make money and are prepared to take risks, but there's a hesitation and caution in this card in the middle of this reading on the stock market. Coming up, the Devil. So those who are shackled to, chained to the stock market are going to come undone. So the senior players that I've been talking about in this, I mean those more mature investors, they have diverse portfolios. they have real estate and other things, they buy blue chip stocks, they will be all right. They also have enough money that when the crash comes, they can buy up really solid companies and things at a good price, and they make more money. So it's the risk takers, young and old, who will come undone with the devil. Now this, the Star card comes up reversed. Now because of the way I shuffle and handle my cards, I very rarely get a reversed card. Some readers shuffle differently and they work with their reverse cards routinely. That's fine. I don't. I work in a different way. But this is the card of hope and it's reversed. Despair. Okay. Need I say more? So, this is also, don't forget, short-term outcome. So I'm talking here in a few months. So there's going to be someone, a representative of the emperor, the king, trying to explain to people what's happening and why it's not too bad when it's in fact really bad. Okay, so Trump has painted himself into a corner. If you claim all credit for the stock market doing well, who are you going to blame when it goes badly? Don't think for 1 minute. He won't find that a contradiction. He'll, of course, just blame somebody. But this is an emissary figure, you know, going out to talk to the public. This could be, in this context, a Minister for Commerce or the Treasury or something like that, trying to calm people down. The High Priestess. Hidden knowledge, hidden secrets. Okay, in the ancient mystical world, Beelzebub and Yahweh, good and evil, that's the nature of the stock market, fluctuating like that, and you'd have to say that is heralding also something of great and deep concern that will impact on the country. I was going to... All right, I thought I'd pull out a couple more cards to see if I could get something more specific. Ta-da! So, the Ten of Pentacles, family, money. Now, let's go right back to the beginning. If you are responsible for other people in your life, partner, family, aging parents, young kids, I think, hold on to your money. Save, 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 save what you can. Because this is family money, right? Intergenerational family money, and the Ten of Swords is on top of it. All right, so to me, in light of all the Trump stuff that we do, this is Trump family money will be coming undone. Not that I think they're ultra big players on the stock market. This is more symbolic. They're bricks and mortar type. They love real estate. But nonetheless, it has broader application for other people. So you're going to have trust funds and things like that. Secret knowledge. Trust funds. Wealthy families have money hidden in other places. They have trust funds for their children and so forth, things that most of us actually don't have. So what I'm getting from this is they will also be affected, and because of the Mueller investigation and because of the Trump stuff, these things will be looked at much more closely than they've been looked at for, I think, 2 generations, or in fact ever. So be very careful with your money, and be very careful with family money. So if you've invested family money on the stock exchange, I'm not telling you what to do with your lives, but I'd be pulling it out of the stock exchange. So, the Ten of Swords, this would indicate the party is going to come crashing down for the stock market at some point in the not radically distant future. I can't be more specific, but it's going to happen. It's simply a cycle. It's not because I'm this, psychic person saying that. Things have gone in a particular way uphill, but the stock exchange, don't forget, is actually not based on a lot of reality. So you might have something like commodity prices. In Australia, we're very commodity driven. As someone famously said, we're like brain-damaged Labrador dogs. We love digging holes in the ground. So that worked really well when commodity prices were very high for raw materials and stuff, and so Australia became dependent on that. And so we will be affected as well as the US, as everyone will be affected by this, and hidden money will be found out. And hidden money will lose value. I'd like to say one more thing. Some of you are more interested than others in the detail of some of the stuff we've talked about here. And so for those who are interested in the NRA stuff, the National Rifle Association, Russian connection, Rosie from Tarot Politics has done an excellent and really thorough reading on that goes for over an hour. So I know a lot of you also support Rosie, so have a look at that. Kirsten Langston, I think, has also done something on the stock market. So I'm not alone suggesting this, and I don't think it's just psychic babble. I think it's inevitable. Okay, so be very careful. Be very careful with your money. Be good, be safe. Bye.